Have you ever hated someone so much that you can't even bring yourself to say their name? Hey everybody, my name is Chris Pavlo and welcome to What Jesus Says About, where Jesus speaks for himself so you can respond for yourself. Now, Jesus says a lot about a lot of different things, so make sure you hit that little subscribe button and then hit the notification so you get notified of new videos, and new videos drop every Thursday. Now today we're going to be talking about what Jesus says about love, and Jesus says a lot about love, but the most famous example is probably the story that he told involving a neighbor. Basically, there's a lawyer in religious law who comes up to Jesus and he tries to trap him, and they're talking about the greatest command in the Jewish law is to love your neighbor. And the lawyer's gonna lawyer and he's looking for a loophole, so he looks at Jesus and he's like, so who is my neighbor? And instead of answering the lawyer right away, what Jesus does is he tells a story. And in the story, a man is walking down the road and he gets beat up by robbers. And a little bit later on, a couple of religious leaders come walking down the road, wink, wink. But when they see the man beaten up, they realize they can't help him, because if they help him, it would contaminate them for religious service and they would have to go through this whole cleansing process. Oh, the humanity. Then in Jesus' story, another man comes down the road from a country called Samaria. He's a Samaritan and he takes care of the wounded man. He inconveniences himself, he bandages the man, carries them to a hospital, and then pays for all of his hospital bills. And it's at this point of the story that the crowd listening to Jesus' story gets really tense. Because in the first century, Jews did not like the Samaritans at all. They considered them half-breed Jews, and they would go out of their way to avoid them, and they had intense prejudice and discrimination towards Samaritans. But in the story, Jesus trolls everybody and makes the Samaritan a good Samaritan and the hero of the story who takes care of the wounded man. So after he's done telling the story, Jesus looks at the lawyer and asks him, so who was a neighbor? And then the lawyer can't even bring himself to say the name Samaritan. He just tells Jesus, well, the one who showed compassion. And then Jesus drops the hammer and tells him, go and do like he did. Now, if you remember, the lawyer asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? Jesus tells a story, and then instead of saying, well, who is a neighbor, he asks the lawyer, who was a neighbor? The lawyer is looking for the letter of the law, and Jesus is speaking to the spirit of the law. The lawyer is looking for the noun, and Jesus is looking for the verb, the action, love. Because it's not God who needs your good deeds, it's your neighbor.